Good evening, everyone. It is 6:06 p.m., and I'm calling this meeting to order. We do have a quorum of the commission present. Please rise, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. The minutes from the June 24th, 2025 meeting have been distributed to you, and we do have a quorum here tonight. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve?
This is Commissioner Smeal. I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? I second the motion. All right, it has been moved by Commissioner Smeal and seconded by Commissioner Janae that we approve the minutes as written from the June 24th, 2025 Cultural Arts Commission meeting. I will now call for a vote.
No, we touched the panel. All right.
Oh, there it is. It just popped up.
Oh.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously. I'd like to invite up Morgan Rogers, who has some information for us.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here to do a little housekeeping. We have been operating under the impression that the Cultural Arts Commission was the final recommendation for public art. We have found, and there's a copy in front of you there, that according to the City Code, Article 6, that the Cultural Arts Commission recommends, reviews and recommends the acquisition of all public art in the city. Recommend, obviously, to the City Council. So in keeping with the City Code, we have to do with the City Code. This is not what, to be honest with you, not what I thought was in the code. And I think that's the impression that most folks had, that y'all were the recommending group. But because of the way the code is written, what y'all recommend has to go to mayor and council. The way it has been decided by staff and talked with the council about is that once y'all make a recommendation, the commission makes a recommendation, then it will go to the next council meeting, whatever the next council meeting is, as a workshop item. We'll present that workshop item just as it will be presented to you tonight, and the council will have a right of refusal. If they don't say no, then it will move forward after the workshop, because there's no voting at the workshop. So the only thing they can say is, we would like to move this to another agenda, where that means it's probably not, that's not something they like. So did I make myself pretty clear on what the process is? So it won't be a vote at the next council meeting. It'll be a workshop, and the council would have right of refusal.
Okay, so basically what we're saying is all of the verbiage will now go from approving to recommending.
Recommending
and so
to mayor and
let's
council.
be patient with each other, especially me, as I'm calling the vote. So
It seems like this would really slow down the process of approval, which sometimes we know
Yes,
the
it will.
developers are extremely
It'll,
anxious.
in most cases, it'll probably add about 10 days to it, a little bit more than that, because right now, whatever happens tonight will go to September the 8th, because that's the next council meeting. So there's a council meeting on the first Monday, the third Monday, and the fourth Monday. So sometimes, yeah, it will be almost immediately after the Tuesday, and sometimes it'll be the following week, depending on how the calendar falls.
are there any other questions? Yes.
Thank you, Morgan. Let me see if I can phrase this very concisely. I'm surprised to find that now that we have a strategic plan in front of them for approval that would allow us to make decisions within that plan and speed things up. Is there any thought on, could that be reversed? Because I think the idea was for the commission to be able to execute on a citywide plan and then move things along quickly. Because we've had developers here that were frustrated with the process to begin with, and so now we're slowing it down even more.
Well, currently, there's not any way to go against the city code. The code clearly says, even if you look at the intent, it says the intent, the commission shall advise the council on art acquisition. So according to the city code, the intent of this group is to be a recommending body. For that to change, mayor and council would have to take this up, discuss it, and then decide if they wanted to change the city code or not. So that would be something that I would recommend if the commission is interested in doing something like that, then you would talk to your council, whoever your council appointee is, and start that process. But right now, we have to go by city code as written. And again, part of that's my responsibility. To be honest with you, when I don't read the city code every time it's updated, and maybe I should. I did not know this was what was in the code. I was under the impression that we recommended, but it's been brought to our attention, so now we have to abide by the city code.
I'm sorry, Morgan, as I read this, I'm a little confused because it says that all works of art that are purchased or gifts or otherwise, but that doesn't seem to apply to like if a developer in front of their property wants to put something up. Are you saying that?
Yes.
That particular category too, because it seems a little bit vague in here on that. I can see it if like we're renting the, the public art that we have on the walkway, but something else, I don't know. Okay, seems a little confusing.
Yeah, because it does say by the city specifically.
Well, is this something, and Sarah, maybe you can answer this, is this something that we need to point out to council that the code may need to be amended one way or the other? Either the commission has approval ability or to address developer purchases on their own property.
I agree that that probably does need to be brought to city administrator and to city attorney's attention, that sentence, because if it does say city purchased versus, because purchased does that, I mean, the developer is purchasing art or putting art, so they have, it's part of their plan. So that might be one of the stipulations that we need to bring to the attorney.
Okay,
And
would you
ask.
bring that, or?
Yeah, Morgan and I can take that to them.
We can ask for a clarification on that and make sure which way that it goes. And I don't want to, I'm certainly not going to go out on a limb and offer a legal opinion on that, but we can certainly ask the city administrator as well as the city attorney.
Yeah, because if we're expected to stick to the letter of the law, let's make sure the law is clear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if y'all would do that, that would be great.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
All right, new business. We have Alpha Loop Sculpture. We have Life Wheel and then Completion to be addressed separately.
Good evening, Commissioners. How are you? This is a partnered, both applications with the city and the Alpha Loop Foundation. And Karen Richard will be talking about some of the aspects this evening, and mainly their partnership was finding the sculptures, contacting the artist, and then the city will do a lot of the logistics. We have two sculptures by the same artist, but we need to take two votes tonight. So that's why we have two applications. The city will pay for the install and the permanent bases for both sculptures. The sculptures will have bases built up to raise the sculptures. And I'll explain the height when we're looking at them in a moment, but just so you know that they'll be a little bit higher than the visuals that you see. We have the selected artist is Keaton Schilling. Did you want to talk about the artist at all and share?
Keaton Schilling is a young, budding metal artist from Indianapolis, Indiana. And he is a welder by day and is an artist. That's his passion and his hobby in the evenings, and he has created 2 sculptures that our donor is very excited and interested in purchasing. One is called the Life Wheel sculpture, and the second one is called the Completion. And both are made from steel, and there's no maintenance involved in keeping them over time. They will develop a natural patina that will be a rust type of patina that we feel will really complement the outdoor environment, and especially the section of the Alpha Loop that we're looking at installing both of those particular sculptures on. The section is the newest section of the Alpha Loop that opened in June of '24, which is a 1-mile section from Old Milton Parkway down to North Winds. And are we able to show the location?
Let's review the life wheel. Let's take a look at that. Can you?
Does
do
that
you
come
have
up
it
on the
there?
screen? Or?
Mhm, that's what I was trying to. There.
So what you see here is the life wheel, which is 6 feet in diameter, and it will stand about 9 feet tall when it's on the base for the actual sculpture, and I think it's 19 inches, 19 and 3/4 inches in depth. It weighs 150 pounds. It's stationary. It does not move, and the plan is to install it perpendicular. You can see in the second photo there that is a section of the loop that actually curves around. So we thought it would be ideal to install it in a perpendicular way, so you could get the full visual effect, whichever way you're coming on the loop, whether you're heading north or south. That's Keaton in the bottom right photo, and you can see from a scale standpoint, he's obviously just around over 6 feet. So that is the life wheel sculpture, and as I said, it's constructed from carbon steel, and water. Each of the spirals are open, so water will flow out of it, and down through the base, the water will also flow out. So there's no opportunity to hold the water and then cause structural issues down the road. And we
Show the location.
that's, yeah, I want to go back to location, sure. Okay, so that's Kim and I standing there looking on the location, and then the top picture is the actual location. We looked at a number of different spots, and we thought that for this section of the loop, it's already elevated a bit, that landscape area. So, and then with the base and everything, it'll be about 9 feet high. So it'll really complement that area very well. Sure.
One aspect that Karen was sharing here is as you turn the corner, you can see the piece will look a little different, which is nice. And the height that was built here, the 9 feet, adding the base, our installer that installs all of our sculptures will be installing this to make sure that it's done right. We always install all of our sculptures and make sure they're done right along the Alpha Loop. And this will be, I wanted to interject for just a second.
Sure.
I know it's right in the middle, but I wanted to say thank you to the Alpha Loop Foundation. This will be our 7th, if approved, it would be the 7th and 8th pieces along the Alpha Loop. And if you recall that we were just here presenting 2 bridge murals also. And I'll have that in my staff report a little bit later, but I should have started out with that, so I apologize for not
You're more than
saying
welcome.
that. So
More than welcome.
this has been moving very quickly, and it's been very smoothly, so thank you for your partnership. So.
Well, happy. I mean, I think that the experience that we've had with the bridge murals, the enthusiasm and the public reaction has just been outstanding and overwhelming. So thank you for your support on that. That was in June, and fast forward, it's August, and we're here with 2 more opportunities. So you're a great partner, Kim. I'm working with you on all of this. But the bridge murals and the swallowtail that we installed in '24 really demonstrates to the foundation that folks really enjoy, walking outside on trail systems that are really beautifully landscaped like the Alpha Loop is. And the public art just adds another dimension that makes it really, really interesting. So we're thrilled to have the opportunity to look at proposing this to you for support, not approval, but support this evening. And we can talk about this second. Do we,
We
should I
need to
do?
yeah, we'll do
separate?
this one first.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So,
Let me point out that we will need a motion before we can ask questions and discuss. And the motion needs to include the word recommend or not recommend the sculpture. So do I have a motion?
I move to recommend the Alpha Loop sculpture, Life Wheel.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, the motion is now on the floor for discussion. Do we have any questions for Karen or Kim? Yes, Commissioner Smeal.
I remember in the paperwork that we got that you changed it from this black to, it's going to change its patina and kind of rust out. When I look at this, I think, well, it's just going to blend into the background with all the browns, so I don't know that it would stand out as much as I think the black would. I'm curious as why you switched or not do something in color.
that's actually a very good question because we had a discussion about that today. The donor who is making the donation to the foundation is very passionate about natural, rustic over time. And while we're sort of full foliage right now, and so it will be perhaps competing a little bit with the backdrop there, we know that that's not what it looks like 12 months out of the year. So fall and winter, things will change as far as the backdrop is concerned. We also felt from a maintenance standpoint that we were mindful of excuse me, additional costs to the city from a maintenance perspective, and we felt that we wanted to go with a streamlined plan. But I will say, if after installation it appears that it isn't popping to the degree, it is always possible to paint after the fact. That is something that we could consider doing.
Any other questions?
I was going to offer the opposite perspective, sort of, and say, would it be an open? You're going to have frogs in there, giving concerts. You're going to have birds
Perhaps.
nesting. Is that something that you're allowing?
We're not preventing it. And I have a retention pond close to my home, so I know how that goes with frogs. But we also felt it was very important to have the spirals open so that we didn't want any sort of water retention there that would cause a problem with the sculpture. So, wildlife is welcome to enjoy it as well.
Okay, point of order, Sarah, do we have to have Commissioner Gonzalez sit this one out? Okay, we'll bring you in on the next vote, sure. All right, it has been moved by Commissioner Patel and seconded by Commissioner Genet that we recommend the Alpha Loop sculpture Life Wheel. I will now call for a vote. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. And welcome, Commissioner Gonzalez. We're glad that you could join us today. So we will go to the second Alpha Loop sculpture completion.
The name of the sculpture is Completion, and it is handcrafted from the same material, carbon steel, and will develop a natural patina over time. The piece itself is 6 feet 3 inches tall, 24 inches wide, 12 inches deep, and weighs 400 pounds. When it is placed on the actual pad and pedestal, it will be 8 feet tall. And I've got an aerial view that we'll show you in just a minute, but to familiarize yourselves with this portion of the Alpha Loop, This is where the Village Tavern Spur from West Side Parkway comes off of West Side Parkway and comes into the loop. So Big Sky is sort of behind it, the Big Sky sculpture that you're familiar with.
It's with the Outdoor and Loan Program, the big blue one that you see on West Side Parkway as you drive by.
And so there's a really nice natural grass area for this location. And it might be hard to appreciate here, but on the second picture, the installer really did a nice job of identifying the placement of it. It's actually in between the two light poles, the two tall black light poles there. So it kind of fits in there and is a nice border for that particular piece. And again, this is a picture of Keaton standing next to the completion sculpture, and then both of the sculptures there, both Life Wheel and Completion. And that is an example of what it will look like over time with a natural patina, the bottom right photograph.
I'd like to also add that both of these are part of a series. This is an emerging artist. He doesn't even have a website, so he's not even selling them. It's in that way. This is one that he had at, I believe, that he made for a friend. And so we just wanted to show the patina in this photo.
Do you want to go to the aerial?
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I was going to show you one more photo.
Oh, sure.
It's an aerial that maybe give you a little bit better perspective. So this was actually from the grand opening, June of '24, but this is an aerial of the location. So where the little umbrella is, if you were to just go straight back to sort of where that natural green area is, that's where it will be positioned there. And then this is an aerial of the Alpha Loop, and it is not necessarily depicting exactly where the life wheel will be, but I think it's helpful for you to understand sort of what that section looks like from an aerial perspective. And
Okay. Is there a motion?
I have a question.
We have to have a motion
Okay.
before, yeah.
I moved.
I move to recommend the Alpha Loop sculpture completion.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. The motion is now on the floor for discussion. Now is time for questions. Commissioner Gonzalez, do you have
Thank
questions?
you. The foundation of the sculpture, do you have anything to see, to show us?
the base.
The base,
Yes, I
yes.
think Kim has.
The base is actually, you can see it in the photo. It's brown. It's a separate color here. And that's being customized by our installer. He met with the donor and spoke to the artist, and he has the customized base that will elevate that.
Oh, okay. And how's it anchored?
How is it anchored?
Yes.
Great question, and that is actually in your packet. The artist, hold on a sec. I don't have it too yet. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but I didn't see it, so that's
The anchor, the installer that we use for all of our sculptures is installing this piece.
Oh,
So he's a city-approved vendor, and he knows how to do this appropriately so that the sculpture is weighted. That's one reason why he had to build up the base. You have to use a certain amount of weight.
Yeah.
And so he's our approved vendor. So that's why the city, we do all of the installs.
Yes.
They're donating and they obtain the artist, but the city, they kind of pass it off to us at that point.
Okay, Kim. Thanks.
Are there any other questions?
Not especially about the sculpture, but in general, I'm curious, Karen, is the Alpha Loop Foundation interested or looking to place more sculptures, more art along the loop?
Yes, we are. We're very interested. In fact, Kim and I were just having a conversation on this section of the Alpha Loop. There are two bridges. There's the long 360-foot long bridge, and then there's a smaller bridge. And the smaller bridge is a wonderful opportunity for another bridge mural, like we did here over behind City Hall. So that is an opportunity that we are looking to find funding for. We're also very interested in finding support to fund a mural inside the tunnel itself. And that's a very expensive proposition. But that is something that we've identified as a priority for the foundation. So that is something that we hope to be able to actually be successful for in '26, is funding. And so those are two obvious ones. But as far as, there's other locations for sculptures along, this is over a mile long. So there's other areas of opportunity there. But I would say that the bridge mural and the tunnel mural are our two priorities right now.
Wonderful. Thank you to you for all of your effort and the foundation. I think in so many times when we've looked at these sculptures, anybody who has children will know that people will try to climb on them.
Right.
So we might be discouraging, we'll place them on a pedestal, we put them away from the path. But any thought to maybe having one that is more interactive?
That's a possibility. These two would not lend themselves to that based on the shape and the corners and that type of thing. We did speak with the installer about having a small plaque closer to the actual loop section that indicated that they were not climbable, so that children, don't look at that as that type of opportunity. But that, finding another opportunity that does encourage, physical interaction, I think it's something we'd be very open to.
Wonderful. And then with the bridge mural, Kim, help me out. What's the park out? Is it Rucker Road? The playground that has the loop that was painted to kind of sort of hopscotch and maybe something more interactive.
Interactive mural
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. We see people, even with Ripple, the mural,
Yeah.
they'll hop on the fish naturally.
Oh, fantastic.
So it already kind of
Yeah.
creates that based on the shape and the design. So, but we can definitely look at all that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or observations? If not, the floor is now closed for debate. It has been moved by Commissioner Janay and seconded by Commissioner Patel that we recommend the Alpha Loop sculpture completion. I will now call for a vote. Not seeing results come up. There we go. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much, Karen, for
Thank
all
you
of your
all.
hard work on the Alpha Loop. It's definitely something that makes Alpharetta a special place.
Thank you all. Appreciate that.
All right, we will move on to staff presentations and work session discussion.
Well, it's hard to believe summer's coming to an end, Everybody's back in school, and with that comes, we have our guides that come out. So just kind of giving a little refresher here, I wanted to share, we have an arts and culture guide, and I know try to share this about once a year, and then we have a department-wide connect guide with recreation. The reason why we do them separate, we do 2 of these a year, because if we did these together, our arts and culture, we put a lot of details in here. And so we like to do one separate that someone can pick up that just might be interested in just the arts. And so please take a look at these. In this Connect Guide, we have all the art classes in. We have everything that just the same, really the same thing here, but in a kind of a condensed, and we use QR codes. So please take a look and pick up one of those outside. Wanted to share the spotlight. We're booking. We have people calling. Daniel Dominique is very busy. We have 2 part-time folks, and introduce you. Lauren Hayden, she's is one of our event coordinators, and she's booking the space along with Daniel. We have and you're welcome to speak up if you want to. No? Okay. We have one-off bookings. A tutu school called us, and they want to do their final rehearsal at the community stage. We have had an acting class. We have a kids cabaret auditions taking place. This is from our summer camp, the photo that you see at the bottom. Matilda Jr., please pass that along. Arcadia will be doing that show, and we hope to get enough signups, so please pass that along. We're still working on that. School of Rock had their final performance, and they're booking more through the end of the year. So I just wanted to give you a quick update and let you know it's going very well. As you remember, we had the Bailey Johnson School and Community documentary that was released this past summer, and it is now up online. If you go to the Arts and Culture page and you look under Learn History, it's listed there, and you can watch it from home and share it with others. Our murals, as we were talking about earlier, thank you again. And I wanted to point out that before the murals, we really had 4 pieces of art along the Alpha Loop. And now, because of the murals and the Alpha Loop Foundation and hard work, we've added 2 additional pieces to 6. And then hopefully very soon we'll be going up to 8. So that is doubling the amount of art along the Alpha Loop in a very short period of time. We actually had last Monday at a workshop, we presented the Arts and Culture Master Plan. And right now, I wanted to give you a quick update on it. We had a couple of questions from some council members that were working with the consultant just to get answers and give that back to them. And then at this time, we are tentatively scheduled, it'll seem a little bit later, but September 22nd. A lot of that has to do with Labor Day and other agenda items that were already filled the schedules. But hopefully we'll be back on the schedule for September 22nd for a final approval. Cutting Loose, the Art of Collage is our show right now at the Art Center. It is amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's just, I don't even know how they cut paper like this. It is just small and very, very detailed. We have Peter and the Starcatcher, which will be at the Alpharetta Presbyterian Church main stage by Arcadia Theater. And then the Alpharetta Symphony has a show coming up on September 19th, Diamonds Are Forever. Our Eclectic Lawn series on the Art Center front terrace, we had Blair Crimmins and the Hookers was our first one. We have another one coming up, Funk Cake. We have kind of a theme going on here. It was brass, a lot of brass this summer. And then this is kind of exciting, October 18th. Megan and Amanda on our team have been working with a lot of local bands. There's been a lot of interest. We have 10 applications for Battle of the Bands right now on October 18th. And as of today, we just reached out to the Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they're going to help us with some prize money under the Alpharetta Music City initiative. So we're very excited to support our local bands that way. Any questions?
No question, but a comment. I love the Eclectic Lawn series. The music selection is fantastic. Dancing under the trees, you know, as it gets dark, is fantastic out there. So kudos to all of you.
Thank you.
And especially thank you for all of your hard work on the master plan and getting it ready to present to council.
Thank you. It took everybody, so thank you. You guys put a lot of work into, so thank you.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, we're just moving on here. Cultural Arts Commissioner reports. Do the commissioners have any items to report? I will make one announcement. You're aware of Arcadia coming as a spinoff from Act One as its own 501c3 community theater for Alpharetta, but just a heads up, Act One is not going away. It's going back to its roots as a church-oriented but that does not mean that any performances will not be open to the public. But for instance, we will be having a dinner theater that I hope some of y'all can attend, that will be put on by our teens to raise money for their mission trip. And then sometime next fall, and that will be February timeframe, 2026. And then we will be putting on Cotton Patch Gospel in the fall of 2026. And so we're scaling back and being a little more church-centric, but that doesn't mean that we're not still putting art out into the community. So hope you'll remember that. And yes, I threw myself under the bus. I will be managing director for at least 1 year. Okay, does anyone else have any announcements of artistic interest? Okay. All right, we're open to public comment. Would anyone like to come forward and speak? No? Okay, here we are. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
And do we have a second?
I second.
Okay. It has been moved by Commissioner Smeal and seconded by Commissioner Patel that we adjourn the meeting. I will now call for a vote. Okay, the vote is unanimous. The motion passes. The meeting has been adjourned at 6:42 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time this evening. We make art efficiently.